Welcome back everybody to the Zeusdaz Unemulated retro game channel. I go by the name of Zeus and it is shit game time once again, and this time we're going to be shit rating and placing into the Plopsville town of shite forever Graffiti Man on the Amiga 500. This has been a paid request by Ray C, YouTuber Ray C. Thank you very much for your request, mate. How are you doing? And I hope you're alright. Never heard of this game before. I think it is a seriously old game for the Amiga. I mean, most 1987 games were only working on the 1.2 kickstarts, and I believe that might be the case here. I actually have an Amiga 500 ECS machine, which originally came with a 1.3 ROM, but I changed it years and years ago with a 1.2 because there's actually a handful more games that actually work on a 1.2, and as I said, I think this could be one of them. But this came out in 1987, as I said, by I think it was Reline, I'm not sure. I can only find one programmer that actually did this game, and German obviously, and in fact I can only find a musician, which is Holger German. I don't know if that's a fact, if that's a true official name. I can only find that name on the particular websites. I can't find anyone else. Maybe some of you would like to comment below and see if there was anyone else that was involved in this game. I bloody well hope not. Yes, so it was actually published by Rainbow Arts, yes, developed by Reline. I think Reline did Amigas, which is a not bad little breakout game actually on Amiga. Rock hard, but yeah, not bad. But what have we got to do in this game? Well, the idea is you want to join a graffiti gang or something like that. And the way to do that is you've got to make your way from the left of the level, left of the screen, and get to the right, which is the end of the street. And then once you've done that, you get to graffiti a wall and get points. And you'll either get caught and get thrown into prison, or you'll win the game. But apparently this is so shit, this is so ridiculously hard, you can't get anywhere in it. I've never played it before in my life. In fact, this is the very first time, once I press my joystick button, Quickshot 2 Turbo, this is the very first time I'm going to play this. Music isn't bad on the title screen. It's got that very, as I said, very early Amiga sound to it. You find a lot of that kind of sound in the old PD games and demos, in fact, back in the day. There's a little bit of loading here and there. It's only one disc, thank God. But here we go. So you got it, and this is, oh God, look at these characters. They look like fucking, what is this town? So you got to press up. The reviews are right so far. Oh, you just can't get anywhere in it. Definitely need a trained version. A game over, just just like that. I also do not know how much this was going for back in the day. So again, if any of you like to find that out and comment, I'll be very interested. What could this possibly be going for? I mean, go to jail. Look, well, I didn't even get a quarter of the way through that screen, and I've read quite a few reviews on the forums, including Amiga Lemon. Read some of the old magazines, which doesn't have many reviews, to be honest with you, and none of them had much to say about this in a positive sense. And I'm not surprised. The same thing that comes up all the time. The collision detection, impossibly hard to get from one end to the other. Yes, I don't know what I would have thought if I bought this back in the day. That was my first go, and I lasted, what, 7 seconds? And then you got endless loading time. So in fact, this is one of those occasions where the game takes longer to load. See, I didn't even know what you mean. How on the... Look at the bloody ugliness of these characters. You just can't... How do you get past it? It's ridiculous. Right. Oh, this is... how are you supposed to know whereabouts in line you are? Jesus Christ, these are ugly motherfuckers, aren't they? What is this, Troll Town or something? I don't know. Good God, they're like a bloody, dare I say, birth rejects. It's terrible. I mean, well, go to jail, yeah. You just can't see where you are in line. That's too much going on. And that's the first level. Right, Ray, I've never seen this game in my life. Bloody hell. If my mate showed me this while I had an Atari ST, it would not result me in selling my ST and getting an Amiga. Thankfully, he showed me the right games when I still had an ST. Any of you interested? That was Hybris. And, for fuck's sake. And Super Hang On. Unbelievable, the inertia on this. It's like you tap it and you take a lot of footsteps. See, he's not even in my line, that skateboarder. He was nowhere near, I was way above him, and he's just hit me. How, there's got to be a particular path you take. How much was this game? Gotta tell me, I couldn't imagine this is a £19.99 game. I wouldn't believe it. But this would definitely not persuade you to sell your ST, would it? And get an Amiga if you saw this for the first time. You'd actually feel you're downgrading. I wouldn't even worry about trying to locate this fucking game, let alone bloody... well, maybe it's so rare it might be worth something. Gets to a point that happens, doesn't it? There's something, no matter how crap it is, if it's rare, it's all about the rarity, and if the collectors want it. Right, up there, down there, up. We got past that bit, down, up. I've jumped over something, and guess what? An old bloke with a bloody walking stick. I'm right back at the beginning again. So there's no ferrity in this at all. Unbelievable, but you know the music, oh dear. The tune is, well, it's substandard, but it's actually way too good for this game. If you understand where I'm coming from, it's not a bad little tune. It's still laughable for the Amiga standards. If you check out the games from 91 onwards on the Amiga, it was like different computer altogether, different phase. It was the new life of the Amiga. Once you hit some of those 1991 to 92, 93 games, you wouldn't recognise them compared to its 1987, 88 and 89 Amiga game counterparts. It was like a different stratosphere. Good programmers, really good programmers that took their time, came along and really showed what the Amiga can do. Now this is, to me, is one of those beginner games. I'm not sure if it works on the actual Amiga computer, such as the 3000, things like that. I think this was literally just an early, oh, fuck's sake, an OCS game. Now there's something flying down. I've just seen that. The bloke, right, that bloke that's putting up that poster, he's throwing something at me. How can you get past this game? How can you possibly... And it's loading again. This is just ridiculous. I've never seen a game like this. I don't know what to possibly rate this, Ray. This is it's the unfairness of it. It just doesn't give you a chance. I challenge anyone to get past this level. There's the challenge. Pass this level without cheating. There's definitely a route. There has to be a route. Otherwise, it's just hit and miss. You cannot do it. And it's learning that route which will get you through to the next stage. I don't know how many levels there are. It's probably about 3 or 4. I dread to think if there were 6. No way could someone get through that without any kind of cheats or aid. No way. Here we go again. That's definitely the first right step. Go up. Right, okay. Right. Ooh, I'm actually getting quite far. Oh, I got really far that time. I'm right at the beginning again. Unbelievable. He wasn't even in my line. Is that fucking... Was it a skateboarder? Was that soap sud bloke again? Got to keep an eye on that if I can. Oh, I didn't even get a chance. There's definitely a soap sud thing that he's throwing down at me. Oh man, I got quite far that time. I won't be playing this much long, Ray. This is ridiculous. It's the music's not bad, like I said. It's the early days of the Amiga 500 here we're talking about. Programmers are just getting to gist with the system, coughing up a few crappy games to get the machine selling. Well, you wouldn't sell it if you saw this on bloody demo, would you? On display in the software shops. But the tune itself for 1987 for Amiga is not bad. I've heard a lot worse. Everything else is crap. I mean, the graphics, yeah, it's that era, 1987. It looks like it's been drawn with a paint program. There's no style. There's no nice shades of metallics, you know, where you get to see that in later Amiga games. This is just, yeah, this is just, no, yeah, whatever. You've got 5 layers there. You've got to try. Fucking granny, I swear I'm going to report her to the fucking pension association. See what hit me? Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, this is ridiculous. And there's no need to keep reloading it. God, could you imagine if this was 2 or 3 discs? This is just fucking stupid. God, you would want to run away, wouldn't you, if you saw faces like that? I mean, bloody hell. That is one ugly town. Must be all inbred. I don't know. Definitely. Definitely generations and generations of bloody incest and inbred has produced people looking like this coming up in this game. It's just terrible. Well, I honestly confess, I'm no way am I going to get to the end of this level. I just can't do it. You just, look, run, up. As you see, straight into him. You've got to get between those two, which is ridiculous. Let's try that again. All I'm going to do is nudge up once. Okay, right, here we go again. I don't know what hit me there. I think it's that soap sud bloody poster bloke again, which is really pissing me off because he's not giving me a fair shot. Unbelievable. So an old fart that looks like something that, I don't know, has been inbred 15 times over with a walking stick and no arm, has managed to literally kill me off, where realistically I could have just got one of my graffiti cans and threw it at him. I just... let me see, I might be getting this all wrong. I'm going to have one more try. I'm just going to try something, because Zeus could have been all along doing this slightly wrong. And I'm a poet and you didn't even know it. Let's try that again. I think now, because somebody was telling me you just avoid, you don't do anything else. Well, we'll see about that. Come on. Right. No, I'm right. I thought you could... One thing I didn't think of trying was trying to throw things at people, and you can't. You've just literally got to avoid. Oh! Oh, how'd you get past that? Is it the same line as the one at the bottom? You're trapped. Final go. Final go. I've sussed out a little bit of a route there. It's definitely all to do with a path. There's got to be a route. There's no way you could just... It's a case of take your chance. There has to be a route. And when you've sussed out that route, pinpoint perfectly... I know it's crashed. Oh, well, there you go, Ray. So, it's crashed. Guru Meditation. Unbelievable. That's nostalgia, retro gaming overload memories, isn't it? You gotta love a Guru Meditation era. Let's end it on that, shall we? I mean, that's a beautiful sight in some cases. That game's just bollocks. I wanted to have a go at the... This is one thing I forgot to mention. You control it with a joystick. those particular levels. And then when you get to the end of the level, if you do, you get to face a wall. You've got a graffiti, and you earn points. And to do that, you have to use the mouse. So it's one of those rare games where you control the game with the joystick and the mouse. I understand the mouse makes sense. You've got to whiz around a bit like Operation War for Thunderbolt with the cursor, and yeah, that makes sense. So you have to make sure your mouse is on standby with the joystick. But the game itself, oh Jesus, there's only two things going for it. Number one, it's 1987. This is when the Amiga 500 was starting to see sunrise. You know, it was being born. At that time, most of us that went from our 8-bits were playing Atari ST games, a majority of us. So it's got that in its favour. It's one of the early sods. But you fast forward just 3/4 of a year later, a year max, and you've got things like Hybris. Unbelievable difference there. That was the game that sold me to sell my Atari ST and get my Amiga, to which I still own to this day. But the only good things about it is that it's an early start, I'll give it that. And the music, it's certainly not good for Amiga standards, but for 1987, there's a tune there. You know what I mean? There's a lot worse. As far as the game goes, it's absolutely fucking dog wank. I mean, I can't think of a bigger, runnier bogey to pull out and flick at someone you don't like material. That is really horrible game. It's just, there has to be a route, otherwise it's impossible. You know, if it's just randomly throwing enemies at you, that's absolutely impossible, completely unfair. So there's definitely got to be a route. But it will drive you insane. You won't want to play this more than half a dozen times. You'll get just rage quit. It's crap. So, and it was only programmed by one guy, or I can only find one guy who did the music. I don't know who actually programmed it. It might have been the same bloke. I don't know. Maybe any of you could comment below and let me know. Give me a bit more information about this game. How much was it? Was there really only one guy that programmed this crud? What am I going to give it on the shitometer? Well, I said it's plus points. Apart from that, everything's negative. Oh, and it's only one disc, so you don't have to keep swapping left, right, and centre. And of course, you can use that disc for a blank afterwards. So there's always some sun, isn't there? There's always a silver lining to a cloud, or whatever the saying goes. So I'm going to give that, yeah, there's no comeback factor. Half a dozen goes, you'll never play it again. If only I knew what the price was, so I'm going to have to come down a little bit, because if it was something like $5.99, you know, it's not going to cost much. It's not going to be much more on the shitometer. Whereas if it was a £19 asking price, then that's going to shoot it way up. So I'm going to have to find a middle ground. I'm going to imagine it's a £10 release. So I'll tell you what, I'll give it 2 shit ratings. Number one, if this was anything lower than a £10 price tag, then I'm going to give that 84 shits. If it was more than £10, I'm going to give it a great big double. 93 shit on the shitometer. So pick the one you fancy, find out the price, and that's your shitometer rating right there. Graffiti Man on the Amiga 500, and I believe it's only on the well, it says OCS, but I've got an ECS machine, so I will say I think you'll need a 1.2 to get this game, 1.2 ROM, kick ROM to start this game. But I don't think you'd want to play it anyway, if you had any sense. Okay, that's it for me, guys and gals. I hope you enjoyed that edition of Shit Game Time. Graffiti Man, Poo Man on the Amiga 500. And if any of you would like to request a Shit Game Time, a game that you bought back in the day, and you really want to stick your middle finger up to the programmers and the publishers for your torture, or you had to pay your well-earned pocket money and got a piece of crud, then that's my job. The video will pop up any moment. Just follow that. Just click that and follow the instructions and leave your request there. I will do my best to ease your pain and shame the programmers. And once again, Reline or Rainbow Arts or whoever it is that programmed this game, little round of applause. Take a bow. You have made an episode of Shit Game Time. Congratulations for producing this unfair pile of wanky poo-poo plop. That's it from me. Until next time. Until the next time I come back to the land of pain. Zeus. Sorrily out.